Either kill me or take me as I am, because I'll be damned if I ever change. My manner of thinking, so you say, cannot be approved. Do you suppose I care? A poor fool indeed is he who adopts a manner of thinking for others. All universal moral principles are idle fancies. In order to know virtue, we must first acquaint ourselves with vice. It is only by way of pain one arrives at pleasure. We are no guiltier in following the primitive impulses that govern us than is the Nile for her floods or the sea for her waves. What we are doing here is only the image of what we would like to do. The best way to get through to a woman is to cause her pain. I don't see any other way to get through to her. Sexual pleasure is, I agree, a passion to which all others are subordinate, but in which they all unite. If it is the dirty element that gives pleasure to the act of lust, then the dirtier it is, the more pleasurable it is bound to be. To judge from the notions expounded by theologians, one must conclude that God created most men simply with a view to crowding hell. A lot of celebrities are nothing more than idiots. I want to be the victim of his errors. What does one want when one is engaged in the sexual act? That everything around you give you its utter attention. Think only of you, care only for you. Every man wants to be a tyrant when he fornicates. Your body is the church where nature asks to be reverenced. Certain souls may seem harsh to others, but it is just a way unbeknownst only to them of caring and feeling more deeply. The man who alters his way of thinking to suit others is a fool. The idea of God is the sole wrong for which I cannot forgive mankind. Lust is to the other passions what the nervous fluid is to life. It supports them all, lends strength to them all. Ambition, cruelty, avarice, revenge, all are founded on lust. I've been to hell. You've only read about it. It is not my mode of thought that has caused my misfortunes, but the mode of thought of others. No lover, if he be of good faith and sincere, will deny he would prefer to see his mistress dead than unfaithful. Sex is as important as eating or drinking, and we ought to allow the one appetite to be satisfied with as little restraint or false modesty as the other. There is no God. Nature sufficeth unto herself. In no wise hath she needs of an author. Happiness lies only in that which excites, and the only thing that excites is crime. People go through many emotions when having sex. When you're scared, it makes sex more pleasurable. Beautiful sex is safe and boring. The dirtiness of sex can be exciting. Always try to make sex more imaginative and not boring. It requires only two things to win credit for a miracle: a mountebank and a number of silly women. Happiness is for the idealistic. It takes a lot of imagination to be happy. You'll have no choice but to murder me or accept me for who I am, because I will never change who I am. Is it not of the imagination that the sharpest pleasures arise? Social order at the expense of liberty is hardly a bargain. Let us give ourselves indiscriminately to everything our passions suggest, and we will always be happy. Conscience is not the voice of nature, but only the voice of prejudice. Sex without pain is like food without taste. I don't know what the heart is, not I. I only use the word to denote the mind's frailties. Don't have children. They deform women's bodies and turn into an enemy 20 years later. The impossibility of outraging nature is the greatest anguish man can know. When a man loves a woman, as our old troubadours used to say, even if he has heard or seen something that puts his beloved in a bad light, he should believe neither his ears nor his eyes. He should listen to his heart alone. Conversation, like certain portions of the anatomy, always runs more smoothly when lubricated. And if I were a naughty little boy, the idea is to spank me into good behavior? How delicious to corrupt, to stifle all semblances of virtue and religion in that young heart. One is never so dangerous when one has no shame than when one has grown too old to blush. The only way to a woman's heart is along the path of torment. You have to broaden your horizons to get what you want in this world. You have to give in to your pleasures in order to get what you want. You may come across bad things, but something good will happen in the end. Variety, multiplicity are the two most powerful vehicles of lust. Why do you complain of your fate when you could so easily change it? Every principle is a judgment, every judgment the outcome of experience, and experience is only acquired by the exercise of the senses. Sex is something pleasurable that unites everyone. Any enjoyment is weakened when shared. Beauty belongs to the sphere of the simple, the ordinary, whilst ugliness is something extraordinary. There's no question but that every ardent imagination prefers in lubricity the extraordinary to the commonplace.